Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Terri, the traveling trainer with GoTarryn Personal Training here in the greater Atlanta area, about to welcome back another wonderful guest returning to GoTarryn TV, Ms. Terri Maske. Before Terri returns back here on GoTarryn TV, I'd like to ask everyone out there if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. Now, as I mentioned, Terri Maske's been on GoTarryn TV before. You know her as a wonderful group fitness instructor. That's one of the many hats she wears, but she predominantly teaches at the YMCA in Buckhead on Moore's Mill there, the Carl Sanders Y, and she is an awesome instructor. I can attest to that because personally, I've had Terri out at Georgia State, and she ran through my students with one of the Pound Fitness classes, in addition to all the other classes that she teaches. And she's been out to Georgia State a couple of times to guest speak. She's just wonderful. She knows everything there is to know about business and fitness and time management. And specifically today, she's going to share with us something that she just shared with her company in terms of work-life balance. We're going to check that out here momentarily. So when we return, we will have Terri Maske here on GoTarryn TV. And remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, and as promised, on the other line right now, also here in Atlanta, Georgia, joining us, Ms. Terri Maske. Terri, how are you doing out there today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. And before we get started, a Happy New Year to you. This is the first time we've chatted in the new year, so I hope you're having a happy 2019 so far.
Absolutely, and Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And last time I saw you, Terri, of course, you had come out a second time to guest lecture and guest speak at Georgia State University. Always a lot of fun with you with the diversity game training, and I think that's just wonderful. And before we actually recorded, I wanted to just follow up with you on a new, I guess, piece of news that you had just delivered to me. And I guess we could just start with that as a topic here regarding home life balance and work-life balance, etc. through your company. Can you go ahead and, I guess, tell the fans out there about this, please?
Absolutely. So I work for a software development company on the education side and education operations, and it's called Infor. It's INFOR.com. And that company features different women at Infor. So it's women in technology, and particularly women at Infor. And they just released a blog. I was the first one for 2019 about work-life balance. Okay. And it's such a struggle for all of us, you know, when we work multiple jobs, yes, like we both do, yes, to get that balance in where you're getting your work done, you're getting something for you in the fitness, but also balancing in your family. Mm-hmm. So it's something we always have to work on. And that's what that article talked about. And it's also located on my LinkedIn profile.
Very cool. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out as soon as we're done here. So what initiated that, and, how did that come to fruition?
So at Infor, we have an incredible group called Women Infor Network, and it's all about promoting women in the technology industry. And I'm a steering committee member as well as a facilitator for the Alpharetta office here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And they've just been featuring different women throughout. Actually, it started in 2018. And in speaking with several of them, we were talking about how I was a fitness instructor and work-life balance. And they asked if I would help do a blog for that. So that's what it's about. It's talking about my struggle. It actually took me 20 years into my career before I had that work-life balance. And it's just a real thing that we all run into, but it's so important, as we've talked about in separate sessions, about getting that movement and finding your movement, which may be different. You know, it may be yoga, maybe turbo kick, maybe bar, or, pound, as we've talked about. It really depends on you, but get that movement in. And so you've probably seen at the Y, the Buckhead Y, we're seeing those New Year's resolutions. Keep those going. Yeah. Find the time to keep those going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've definitely seen a spike. Have you, I'm sure you must have a uptick pike up in your class participation, Terri?
I have, yes, we've seen it. We've seen it in definitely the bar classes and in pound and different days. Interestingly enough, Mondays was a very light day at the Beckhead Y, and then I remembered there was a big game on TV. So, there are some things that stop those new resolutions. Football may come before fitness, but try to fit it all in.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I agree with you. And I think the big key is sticking to it, too. I think that's really good.
Absolutely.
You had just said the word commitment. There was a really cool phrase one of my clients I was training had just told me that's kind of relevant to what you just said, that I really like what he said. I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. I'm going to do it the best I can. But he said that he had heard that commitment gets you to the starting line and consistency gets you to the finish line. I thought that was really cool, just the way he said that.
I so agree with that. I like that.
I like that, too.
Using that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it's the struggle of getting there, and then that consistency of continuing to come, and changing it up sometime too. I mean, you've probably seen where we'll see people do the exact same classes, the same format over and over again, but when you mix it up some, one, it's better for your body and for your workout, but it's finding something that works for you, and if you change it up, it may help you keep that consistency, because maybe you're a little tired of your old routine. So I like that.
I agree with you, Terri. Like for myself, I'll use me as an example. I do the same workout pretty much every time. I'm guilty of it. I just go in, I know what I want to do. I do the same, cookie cutter workout for myself. It works for me. But I guarantee you, if I did that pound class with you, I would probably not be able to walk out of there, because the reason I say that, when you came out to Georgia State the first time I met you and you did that class with the my students, my first time seeing that, and all the students in there, 100% of them, that was their first exposure to taking that, and they were all telling me the next time I saw them how sore that they were, that they never had a workout that way. And it's just like you said, it might not be because it was harder than that they were used to, but like you said, it was different, and it shocked muscles that they probably So I think you're right. I totally agree. I know if I took a class like that with you, I would definitely feel it, and it'd be good for me. I know it. I just, but I'm guilty of, sometimes kind of just procrastinating, not getting on it. But you had just mentioned a few minutes ago too, Terri, going into it about the work-life balance, and you had said it took maybe 20 years for you to kind of adjust to it. So can you go back previously to 20 years? What was it that you found challenging, or was there a profound, enlightening aha moment that, what did you change? What was not going correctly that you noticed?
Well, pre-kids, and you probably saw this too, pre-kids, I had the time to consistently work out, and I did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Once we have children, it's finding that time you want to spend with them, plus you have your real job to do.
Oh, yeah.
And then you need to find that fitness time too. And that was the piece. I wasn't good about including something for me, which for me is that fitness component.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually working with an incredible team at N4. It was a project that we were doing for the executives, and it was from different people from different departments. And it was in working with those people, they are the ones that they're very hard workers, and we had very tight deliverables, but it was in working with them where I realized, hey, you know what? It's okay to work hard and step back.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so good about making sure they had time for family, but they got all their deliverables done too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just balancing that, and they taught me that. And it was 2010 when I did that project. So it just kind of took me a while to get there. And as my kids were growing up, I realized, I wasn't spending as much time with them either.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothered me.
Yeah.
But what it really worked for me was, honestly, that's how I became an instructor. In order to ensure I could get that work-life balance in, I wanted to spend time with my kids. I had to do my real job. I became an instructor because it's a second job and I have to be there. People are expecting me to be there. So it was easier for me and my scheduling of time to make sure I had it blocked, just like a meeting.
Yeah.
So that's what worked for me.
And that's brilliant
So,
because at the same time you're getting your workout in. And so, I mean, gosh, I can't think of anything else where you're making money and you're having people wait on you that hold you accountable, but at the same time you're benefiting from it emotionally, physically. I mean, that's the best of all worlds right there. It's perfect.
yeah.
Very, very good time management.
Realizing it's okay. You can have a career. You can. We both know that. We can have a career, and you can take some time for that movement and the fitness as well.
Yeah, it's just like you said, Terri, time is everything. And, I think you hear this all the time, but from a recent study, the number one reason why people say that they either fall off their New Year's resolutions or stop going to the gym is just because they don't have the time. And it's all relative, as you said. Having children for sure does take a chunk out of our time and makes us manage time more wisely or more efficiently. But, as far as, and I'm sure your article will address that, I'll definitely make sure to read that and encourage all the listeners out there to check that out. But I guess if for those of who are listening haven't read it yet or gotten a chance, can you kind of go into time management maybe for the folks who would tell you, Terri, I would come to your classes, but I just don't have time, or Terri, I can't make it to the Y, I don't have time. What's a good piece of advice or suggestion for them?
So because of the internet, we have so many things that are available to us that may not have even been available 5, 10, 15 years ago, even when I was trying to find that balance. There are workouts that are very effective and very good that are on Amazon Prime, for example, or popsugar.com. Great workouts that may be 5, 10, 15 minutes that if you could just think through your time, maybe it's early in the morning, maybe it's a quick lunch break, if anyone takes lunch breaks anymore, or maybe it's in the evening. Take that 15, 20 minutes just to get something in. So go look up Amazon Prime. There are 15-minute HIIT exercises by a really, never met her, but a great person, it seems. Her name's Maggie Binkley, like pink, but Bink Lee. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, they're right there. And they're upper body, lower body, HIIT, muscle recovery, core. I mean, it's really 15 minutes. So it could take 15 minutes for someone to write an email. So perhaps take that email out and do a quick workout. Do something that works into your schedule, because it is tough. And then maybe the next day, try going to a class or try going for a run or something like that. So find time where you're finding that piece of your calendar for you. And maybe for you, you need to block it. Maybe you need to block your calendar so that you know when it's coming up.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely put it in a calendar. And I don't think we've never been in a time of our life where we've seen what opportunities we have at our fingertips with the internet and with computer and Amazon Prime, et cetera. But in addition to that is how about the smartphones and the apps? I mean, who does not have a smartphone? Anybody listening right now has one, obviously. And so you're right at the fingertips. They've got every single multiples of apps available, and including YouTube and all the rest of them, Apple and everything else that there is to get workouts in pretty efficiently, I should say, and inexpensively, and they can certainly afford it on a budget if time and cost are issues. So yeah, I think that's I haven't checked that out actually myself yet. The Amazon Prime one, that sounds pretty cool. Brinkley, I'll have to write that down.
They are. Yeah, Binkley. Yes, her name's Maggie Binkley.
Maggie Binkley.
And then and popsugar.com. They have fitness videos that are 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes. They're really good. Anna Renderer is the one that I usually use and the one who you usually see in the videos. And they're her form is incredible. Her cues are incredible. She could have weights. She could do body weight. It's a really, again, it's something. It's 5 minutes. It's 10 minutes. It's something for you to start getting that movement in.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely see that. And you just reminded me too, Terri, that I owe you a big thank you, because last time you and I talked, you had referred another person that came out and actually guest spoke for me as well, Jen Hall, our mutual friend Jen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she talked a little bit about that as well, and referenced her child, and kind of went into that, her backstory with having some issues medically with her child that went through. And so I think it was, in her case as well, kind of scheduling priorities and just juggling things. But it can be done. There's no question about it. I think that, yeah, you and I see them both, like at the Y or wherever else, that people say, I don't have the time. Usually, I think they have the time. I think it's usually probably just sitting down and looking at their calendar and what can they cut out and what can they kind of budget. And it is a sacrifice, I think, especially for those of us that have kids. We probably do have to sacrifice some time away in order to get things done. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's that fear of changing, fear of maybe guilt. Should I be spending time with my children or doing something rather than this fitness? But it's just scheduling. It's working into your life some type of movement rather than working out. Think of it as working it into your schedule.
Yeah. And also we could take that and talk about calendar apps that they have too, because I was traditionally old school. I would write down on my calendar all my appointments, but now with the way everything is, with everything syncs in the cloud, and calendars are going from your computer and your phone and everything, and it's so easy to manage. And that's what I do for myself for my workouts. I'll actually input them on my smartphone, and it'll sync on my computer. And that way, if clients are trying to work out with me, they'll know that they can't take that time because I actually treat it as an appointment or a session. And I just encourage my clients to do the same thing. Just say, hey, look, you committed to this, so go ahead and make it consistent. Put this in as a recurring time or what have you. And they've got a lot of options. Just referencing the Y itself. My God, how many classes what is there? Like I don't even know. Like almost 100 classes a week, maybe more. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
I would say, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's a lot of. It's early morning, midday, weekends, weeknights. I mean, it's an incredible amount of choices. And what I love to see in my classes is people, like Pound is always an example. Well, I've never tried this, but I want to try it. I'm like, good. Try something you haven't tried before. You may be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, again, the Pound, that was first exposure to me, too, that I'd seen that, and I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was a lot of fun and unique. And then remind us, Terri, too, about some of the other classes that you teach, please, because we've talked about Pound, but how about some of the other ones, too?
So I also teach bar fusion, strength classes, and then I'll sub into like a dance fitness class or boot camp if they need it. And I'm also going to be Y45. I'm looking at that certification actually this weekend, which is more of a circuit type training. Very good. Excellent. That's great. I mean, that is excellent to have, it just all benefits you to be able to have all that on your resume and be available to teach any of those classes. And the Y is fun. I love the atmosphere there. I mean, it's the best, no question about it. Yeah, and the members are great too. Oh, I think that's what. Our Pound community has just kind of grown at the Y, and it's the people in the class that make it so much fun. Same thing with bar. Like we've talked about, it's always music for me, and so having different types of playlists in bar. Like this one we just did, it's New Year's, so I called it I Will Survive, and it was just different music pulled together, and that just helps with the workout. No, that's really cool. Now, I may have asked you this before, Terri, I can't remember, but I know the stigma for most classes is, usually women and predominantly female, but I think some of the men are kind of scared sometimes or intimidated. Do you have men that come to any of your classes and work out? I do. Okay. In both classes, in Pound and bar as well. And again, you're right. With bar specifically, it's because it was ballet-based, Pilates-based, that can be intimidating. But when I've gone to SCW Fitness and love taking bar classes there, I love it when Jen Hall does a bar class there. There are guys in those classes, and they are athletes. And I enjoy watching them because it helps me learn how to cue them as well. And most of them are obviously taller than me, and you've met me. I'm not that tall. So when I'm watching them do the movements, it helps me learn how to cue better, because me doing a squat, getting to the floor, is much different than someone who's 6'5", trying to get to it in a squat, and get to the floor. So it really does help. But yes, absolutely. The classes are meant to be for anybody, any level, any age. And that's what I like about these different formats that I teach.
Yeah, and there's, like you said earlier, a variety of times and days and different levels. And that's the other thing, not only your classes, but the general type of classes. Like, for example, I'll teach the senior strength class at the Y, and that's one I encourage anyone can come to, that they shouldn't be intimidated. And so that's really good. And at the same time, on the other side of it, you can have some of the most optimal elite athletes come in, and as you mentioned, you could really push them, and they can get a heck of a workout in. And so that's great. Have you? Here's another question, Terri. Have you taught at any of the other Ys, or do you ever go to the other Ys to work out for yourself at all?
I don't go there to work out.
Okay.
If there's a sub need, I have sub. I've worked at the one off of Ashford Dunwoody and also at Eastlake.
Okay.
It's not something I do often, only because of time. But yeah, if I can and they need something, I may try to sub.
Yeah, okay. I was curious. I like that one at Ashford Dunwoody. I actually would go there sometimes too, because it's convenient as well. But like you said, the Buckhead one, that is the best one, definitely. I mean, and I love. I think we talked about this last time. All the renovations that they've continuously done there. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Their programs are so great, too, for the kids and the families, like the community, because we took them to the Christmas Winter Wonderland, our guys, and they loved it. They had a blast. I mean, they always do such a great job with all that kind of stuff.
They do. And it's one reason why I love teaching at the Y, is all the community stuff that they do, the programs for the seniors, the programs, for the children. And it's incredible. And even within my class, I'll have members who may be struggling with something financially, and the Y is so willing to work with people. They're just really good about, ensuring people are trying to get healthy no matter the financial, where they are financially. So it's why I love the Y.
Yeah, that's the big difference. I can attest to that. I 20 years ago did my internship with the Chicago Oak Park YMCA, and ever since then I can see a clear distinction between them and your typical profit sales commercial gym. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then, so as speaking of work-life balance, I haven't asked you this, but how's your new year going so far? And, how's your family going and your work-life balance for yourself this year so far?
Well, it's going very well. It does help that I block my calendar, and it is a second job, so that does help that I get my work-life balance in. Yeah. But I've even noticed my husband has actually started. He is making more of a commitment to ensure that that fitness in, because he sees me going. He'll either go to the Y or he'll work out here, and he uses my bender ball. He'll use my different equipment that I have just to make sure he gets something in as well. And then the kids are active. They're doing dance or karate or something just to keep that activity going. But it's all going well for us, and our plan is to keep that going.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important. I think that, we don't see enough of that. And certainly as parents, the more active and fit you are, that's going to definitely reciprocate, and your kids are going to emulate that from you, because that's just good habits breeds good habits. And unfortunately, on the flip side of the coin, you see the opposite, where you have morbidly obese parents, and then they've got pretty morbidly obese kids, and they're not being active, and they just copy the same habits. And I'm sure you have seen and have had clients that have dealt with that as well. But that's a great role model to do that, Terri, to be active as you are, and just keep working out and encouraging your family to do so as well.
And you actually reminded me of something, of a member at the Y who's actually inspired me, and I love sharing her story.
Please.
She started, her name is Twyla, and she started coming back to classes a little over a month ago. And she is one who is working so hard on losing weight and becoming fit. Well, right before Christmas, she told us that she had lost 40 inches.
40 inches. Wow. Oh, my
40
God.
inches.
Wow.
And she not only changed her fitness, I mean, she started doing fitness, but she changed her diet too. So it's great to work out, but as you know, it's also about what you eat. And so she's so, and everyone in class is so inspired by her because she has the best attitude. She's always has a great smile on her face, and she comes to Pound, and she'll do Zumba Strong, and she does other classes to get that fitness in. But she's made that commitment so that she can get healthy herself. And she has 2 young children, and that's one reason why she's doing it, for herself too, but also because for her children.
Wow.
So, and I love sharing that with people because I'm like, here's your inspiration. If you others can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, wow, that's great. There's no better investment than our health. I mean, there's no question about it. If you don't have that, we don't have anything. That's awesome, Terri. And everything else going well with work and everything too this year so far?
It's just busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we always say we're never busy. We're never bored. We're always busy. And we're not stressed. We're in demand. So we just keep going.
Good attitude to have. Absolutely. And
how
about the rest of the year, Terri? Any traveling, vacations, or any goals as far as the rest of this year's concerned?
Yeah, we are actually looking at planning our family vacation now, and I think we all have our eyes set on Yellowstone. I think we're going to. I've never been to Yellowstone Park myself, but we're kind of looking that way to go for a family vacation. And then through my daughter's school, she's doing a couple of trips with her school. So my daughter has a couple of trips planned with her school. It's the Atlanta Girls School, fantastic school. And then my son, we're looking at going to Great Wolf Lodge. He's been asking me for 3 years to go. So he and I are going together for his spring break. And the Yellowstone Park is what we're looking at for the big family trip. So we're just excited. We're just going to figure it out, and we will figure it out and just keep moving.
Yeah.
That's really it for us.
Oh, that's fun. That's exciting. Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. And I'm assuming that Great Wolf Lodge, that's the one down near Callaway Gardens. Is that correct?
There is one down there. We're actually booked in Charlotte because, honestly, the rates were cheaper. We could get a better rate at the Charlotte one.
I will have to check that out. I got sticker shock when I saw the one down in it.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you told me that. That's we'll have to look at that. Okay. Good. Yeah. Very, very good. Well, that's terrific. You all are going to be all over the place, and here's another year too. We're just going to fly through this one as well. I'm sure the last one
I know.
went by so quickly.
I know.
Very
exactly.
Cool. Excellent. Well, what do you have planned the rest of, I guess, this week into the weekend, Terri? Anything else fun and exciting going on?
Well, I teach 2 classes tonight.
Okay.
And then this weekend, I'm doing a certification for the Y. It's called Y45. It's a strength and circuit-based training that it should be on the schedule. Actually, it is on the schedule now, and we'll be adding more classes. And so that's my weekend because it's Saturday and Sunday.
All right. Excellent. Well, very good, Terri. Well, I've been watching the time closely. I promised we'd have you out of here on time, and this 30 minutes flew by so quickly. But before we let you go, if we could we ask you, Terri, how the folks can get a chance to take a look at that work-life balance article and also contact you if they're interested in asking you any more questions, please?
Absolutely. The easiest way is my LinkedIn profile. It's Terri Maske, Terri. Maske is Maske. And the link to that work-life balance is right there on my summary of my profile.
Perfect. Easy enough. Very good. I'm going to check it out as soon as we hang up here. Terri, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. And have a great, enjoy the rest of your week with teaching and your work-life balance at home with your family as well, Terri.
Great. Thanks. You too. And thanks so much.
Thank you, Terri. We'll see you soon, and probably see you around at the Y here.
Okay. Absolutely. Talk to you later.
Okay,
Thanks.
take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.